Hi, welcome to today's Steelhead Know-How. My name is Miguel Molina with Riverbed Support, and today we're going to be discussing creating secure SSL peering trusts with all Steelheads using the SCC. As we all know, secure peering certificates and peering trusts are required for SSL optimization. The process to accomplish this in an enterprise environment can be very time-consuming without the SCC, since essentially you have to log into each Steelhead one by one and manually generate the peering certificates, in addition to establishing the peering trust between steelheads, most commonly moving the steelhead from the gray list to the white list, which means that you trust the steelhead for SSL optimization. With the SCC, we can dramatically reduce this process down to two basic steps. The SCC can be used to generate and push secure peering certificates to the steelheads, and in addition to this, the SCC can also be used to establish the peering trust between steelheads. As mentioned earlier, it is very easy to use the SCC to generate and replace peering certificates on the steelheads, in addition to establishing the peering trust. The first step is to log into your SCC and navigate to the Manage Appliances tab. Once you're on that page, you're going to select all the devices that you want to generate peering certificates on and navigate over to Appliance Operations. From here, you're going to want to select the Push Policies drop-down arrow and select Replace Generate Peering Certificates. This will give you a certificate signing request form where you fill in the device's common name. This can be either the appliance host name and IP address that's registered with the SCC or a custom common name, the organization name, and other parts of the certificate that are unique to your organization. You can also increase the validity period of the certificate. By default, this is 730 days or 2 years, or you can max it out up to 10 years or 3,650 days. For now, let's go with the default of 730 days and select Replace. The SCC warns you that you're going to replace the peering certificates on 2 devices. Go ahead and select OK. Now, once you've done this, the peering certificates are not actually pushed out to the devices just yet. Instead, what's happening is that the peering certificates are stored on the SCC, and it's not until you actually do the policy push to the devices that the peering certificates get updated. So now let's go to the second step, which is to create a secure peering policy. For that, we're going to be navigating over to Manage Policies. We're going to be adding a new policy. In this case, we're going to call it SSL Peering. And we're going to give this policy a description so that we can inform others exactly what this policy is doing. And we'll go ahead and add that. Now that we've added our policy, we're going to want to add all the pages to our policy. And in this case, since we want to be updating secure peering, we're going to navigate to the optimization section and select the secure peering page. We're going to want to make sure that we include this in a policy push. And then we're going to want to go into our page. And again, we're going to want to make sure that this page is included in the policy push. And we're going to navigate down to trusted peers. And in this section is where we say what peers we want to trust. In this part, you have two options. You can explicitly select the peers that you want to trust, or you can just go ahead and say you want to trust all peers. Really, neither approach is wrong. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve with the policy. You may have peers that you don't want to trust for SSL optimization. In this case, we're just going to go by the trust selected peers, and we're going to select the 2 peers registered on our device that we want to trust. You're going to want to go ahead and update the policy. And now at this point, we have a policy that allows us to push the secure peering settings to the device or to each device. So now that we have our secure peering policy, let's go back to Manage Appliances, and we're actually going to want to assign the policies to our devices. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to apply the policy to our group. Now you can also go into each individual device and also put the policies there as well. So now that we have the SSL peering policy assigned to the group in which our devices are located, we can now select our lab appliances group, go to appliance operations, push policies. From the operations history tab, we can see that the SCC has successfully pushed out the policy to both steelheads. Now this policy would have done two things. The first thing is that it would have pushed out the updated peering certificates from the SCC to each steelhead. In addition to this, it would also establish the peering trust between the steelheads. And that's it. This is how easy it is for us to use the SCC to 1. Generate new peering certificates on the steelheads, and 2. Establish the peering trust between steelheads. It sure beats having to go into each steelhead one by one and manually generating the certificates and moving devices from the gray list to the white list. Hope you all find this video useful, and please feel free to come back and check in for more videos.